You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account, from Nvidia to VIX and everything in between. If it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, that music means we are back. We are full from the holidays. Hope your Christmas or whatever you celebrate holiday was good out there this week. Now it's time to get back to some options action. My name, of course, Mark Longo from theoptionsinsider.com, as well as from the network upon which all of you folks have been binging all year long. Make sure you're checking out the Pro if you want to join us for the upcoming Vol Deathmatch 2.0. Get your name in the hat for, of course, some great Pro Trading Crate giveaways to round up the year. And then, of course, live streams, all sorts of fun, theoptionsinsider.com/pro. And you heard him on the show earlier this week. Make sure you're checking out thehotoptionsreport.com to see all the great data Nick and the team are giving you folks right now, absolutely for free. You can't beat the data, and you literally can't beat the price. Get over there. Get while the getting is good. Thehotoptionsreport.com to follow along with the show as we follow along to number 10. Was it a wild end to a shortened holiday trading week out there? The answer was no. Number 10 only cost you about 293,000 contracts. To break into the top 10 today, get you to our old pal Broadcom, aka AVGo. Going back up nearly $2 today, about $1.91, closing 352.13. And the hot option out there in AVGo today, almost 21,000 of the 352 half calls. Average price for these, 67 cents. Now you can do the math. They went out 352.13, so not exactly a great trade out there, listeners. You needed the stock to get over 353 to break even on these if you were buying them. It was an opening trade, unfortunately. Didn't quite get there by the end of the day as we keep climbing. To number 9, it's our old pal, the Amazonians. Closing today, 232.52, up about 14 cents in this light post-Christmas session. Coming in at number 9, 360,000 contracts, changing hands today. The hot option in the Amazonians, 42,000 of the 232 half calls, exactly where we went out in the stock pretty much, listeners. Average price for these, 40 cents. You know the deal. If you rode them into the close after buying them for 40 cents, then not exactly a happy camper. They went out worth 2 cents, listeners. If you sold them, you did all right. As we keep climbing to number 8, AMD, closing today a penny shy of 215, off slightly on the day, putting up 405,000 contracts. For the number 8 spot, the hot option in AMD today, 54,000 of the 215 calls. Again, right at the strike, listeners. Average price for these, 70 cents. You know the drill by now. If you bought these for 70 cents and rode them into the close, not a great trade. Hopefully you had an opportunity to get out intraday. As we keep climbing to number 7, it's good old Netflix. Very much in the headlines these days. Gaining back about 83 cents or almost 1%, about 0.9%, closing 94.47 today, putting up 417,000 contracts for the number 7 spot, the hot option in Netflix today. 29,000 of the 94 half calls. Again, right at the strike, listeners. Average price for these, about a dime. So they went out worthless if you bought them and rode them through the close. But on the flip side, you only lost about a dime. As we keep climbing to the number 6 spot, listeners, it's the artist formerly known as Facebook, Meta, going out today 663.29, off about 4.25 or about 2/3%, putting up 428,000 contracts. For the number 6 spot, the hot option out there, 33,000 of these 665 calls, again expiring today. Average price for these, 76 cents. So once again, if you bought these and rode them through the close, not the best trade as we keep climbing. To number 5, it's our old pal, the Monster, aka Strategy. Closing today, 158.81, up about a dime today. So reversing some of its earlier losses, putting up 535,000 contracts for the number 5 spot out there today, the hot option and MSTR, 39,000 of the 160s. Again, expiring today. Average price for these, 26 cents. So if you sold them this time and rode them through the close, you're looking good. If you bought them, perhaps not so much. As we keep climbing to number 4, listeners, it's the fruit company, aka Apple, closing today 273.40, off about 41 cents. Good for 541,000 contracts. And the number 4 spot today, the hot option in Apple land, 128,000 of the 275s. Again, expiring today. Average price for these, 30 cents. You know the drill by now. As we keep climbing to number 3, listeners, it's Palantir, closing today 188.71, off about $5.50 or about 2.8%. Good for 583,000 contracts. And the number 3 spot, the hot option out in Palantir today, listeners, 49, nearly 50,000 of the 190 puts. So in the money puts, interesting. Average price for these, 41 cents. If you bought these, listeners, they went out worth nearly $1.30, $1.29. So that's a pretty good trade for you. If you sold them, not so great. As we keep climbing, listeners, number 2, it's our old pal Tesla, giving up almost 10.25 today, closing 475.19, off a little over 2%. Good for 3.15 million contracts on the number 2 spots. Another day where most of our top 10 pretty light, and then the top 2 spots putting up decent volume again. The hot option and a pretty hot day in Tesla, listeners, 297,000 of the 480s. We've been talking pars recently. We've been talking a lot of upside strikes. Today it was the 480s. Average price for these, $1.05. And once again, if you bought these bad boys, stock went out 475.19, so the 480s not looking too great. If you sold them, you had to sweat a little bit, but you ended up keeping $1.05, listeners. So congrats to you as we keep climbing to the number 1 spot, listeners. Our old pal Nvidia putting up decent post-holiday volume. 3.25 million contracts were the top spot out there today. Nvidia rallying to take the top spot, closing 190.53, up nearly $2, or about 1% on the day today. The hot option on a pretty hot day in Nvidia today, 588,000 of the 192 half calls. Average price for these, 31 cents. Once again, we didn't close there, listeners. Might have gotten there intraday, but didn't close there. So hopefully if you bought these, you got the heck out of Dodge earlier. If you rode them into the close, that's 31 cents you're not going to see again. But you know what, listeners? You will see us again after the closing bell on Monday with another episode of the Hot Options Report. Stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.